True or false? Workplaces that incorporate wellness practices have shown to be 21% more productive.
True, better believe it. Welcome back to Breaking the Burnout Cycle. This is
Oscar.
and I am Kira, and
Together we are the Vita Veda.
Great.
Let us just translate it for people who are new to the Vita Veda. Give us the backstory real quick.
It is the living wisdom or the living knowledge.
Yep, so living.
Vita means life in Latin. Veda means knowledge or to know in Sanskrit. Two ancient languages, one from the West, one from the East. We wanted to bridge the gap, amalgamate the two to bring the living, not the theoretical, living wisdom. So we are practicing what we preach, preaching what we practice, living how we lead. And ladies and gentlemen, we are leading how we live. Anyway, that was an intro and a half. Today, we are going to be discussing the ultimate return on investment. It's not financial. It's not logistical, operational. It isn't. It's you. It's investing in
you. Looking at the camera. We're looking at you. You are the ultimate investment.
No, that was last episode. That's not rinse it. So, key talk.
Rinse and repeat. Look at yourself. Now back at yourself. No. Now look at yourself. Jokes aside.
Key points for this episode are going to be, what does self-investment mean? Like, what actually is it? The return on investment of personal growth, which in my opinion is the biggest return on investment you could ever hope for. And lastly, starting small with actionable steps. Sorry.
No. I was going to interrupt you, so
you held it in.
Yeah. No. So eager to just spill the beans on you all on this investment.
I really don't like beans.
No, you should probably avoid them.
Anyway,
that's another story.
For another episode. Okay, so Oscar, what does self-investment mean?
I think for me it has meant a lot of things, but and it started with like the small things, like I'm gonna spoil myself and have a fizzy drink or something not really good for yourself. So it's weird. And honestly, here we're back at actually the words being spells, something that is spoiled. Like if the milk goes spoiled, it goes bad. So when I say spoil myself, I'm actually talking about poisoning myself literally. Like, I'm just gonna spoil myself and have another piece of chocolate. But this is not like, you're literally spoiling yourself. You're becoming spoiled. So I've switched the idea of like, okay, you know what? Now high quality food. Oh my God. Back in the days, it felt like I had to give up something, like the indulging, actually pretty disgusting stuff I put in my face. Like, it's I felt like almost Jesus, like carrying the cross when I had to give up this kind of stuff. But now I realize that like true self-investment is learning. I think learning is one of the most potent things you can come across. It has been reiterated throughout the ages for as long as you can remember. I'm pretty sure even the wizard Merlin spoke about learning and said that when the world is dull and tough and gray, the only thing that can actually bring you joy and light is learning. So
that's beautiful.
For me, self-study or studying other things brings me loads of joy and brings me happiness.
Yeah.
So a continued quest of learning would be a self-investment for me.
Yes, totally agree with that. I think for me it's important to distinguish between, I love that you brought up there the spoiled, because I think the investment piece is really important, because for me it's either financial, time, energetic, emotional, put in, so emotions, finances, time, energy put into something that is going to return back tenfold. So it's not just spending, thinking here of a kind of play on words with financial. I think what you just referred to with spoiling yourself would be more spending, like spending energy as opposed to investing energy. Like if I'm, just pounding down chocolate cake to quote unquote spoil myself or treat myself, that actually doesn't make things expand or get any better. It goes the opposite. It makes things worse. And obviously we all love a slice of chocolate cake. It's not to say I have to. He has the whole cake. It's not to say not to eat chocolate cake. We have our fair share of chocolate cake. But I think it's just important to kind of distinguish here that
Don't sell yourself the lie or rationalization that this is an investment.
Yeah,
That's all. You can be
exactly.
truth about it. I'm
Yeah, I'm
indulging right now.
indulging in this thing, but
And that's okay.
investing is putting time, energy, or resources into something that is going to return back. So as Oscar said,
Elevate you.
with with learning and developing your skill set and your knowledge base is going to return, in terms of connections, in terms of opportunities, experiences, etc. So for me, self-investment is pouring into myself in a way that is going to expand and transform.
I think the biggest block for learning is thinking that you already know it. And we had a great quote this morning. We all believe slightly that we're watching the world objectively. So we see the world as it is, but the truth of the matter, we see the world as we are. So we have loads of filters that creates this blockage of learning and developing and growing because we're already pedestalizing ourselves as all-knowing.
Okay, point 2. The return on investment of personal growth. So just to name a few: increased confidence, these are the ones we wrote down before, adaptability, clarity and decision making, which are essential for both personal legacy and organizational leadership.
Yeah.
So what would you say, Oscar, are some of the returns on investment that you have experienced as a result of your personal growth journey and investing in that journey?
I would definitely say confidence, the amount of knowledge, the amount of shifts in belief in myself and in others and in the world and the possibilities has become, I don't even know if you can put a price tag on the mental shift that has happened as personal growth has expanded and taken place from being somebody with imposter syndrome and a little bit shy and always nervous and a mind that's been raging to be clear, confident and concise when it comes to executing things and not being caught up in a endless storm of negative thoughts that rumble and humble.
It's amazing. It's massive. I think for me, and this big breakthrough for me, that kind of last year was around vision and a clear vision, and finally getting to understand reverse engineering and kind of thinking from the goal. So a massive breakthrough for me in personal growth and the return on investment has been being able to imagine and dream a big future, and really get clear on the legacy or the impact that we want to make here and the message that we want to spread and what we want to leave behind, and then being able to reverse engineer that backwards into tangible actions today. It took so much personal growth to get my mind to that clarity. I can't even explain it to you. Like a decade of intensive personal development, but the return has been monumental, and that's just one thing. I would say our relationship for me has been a huge return on investment of developing as a person that can align with a conscious, loving, healthy relationship that we've cultivated.
Indeed, yeah. I think, it is self-explanatory, but the greatest investment you can do is in yourself. Because when you are aligned physically, mentally, spiritually, you'll be able to elevate. What's the quote? A tide rises all the boats. So when you are that tide, that aligned super version of yourself, there will be no stopping you.
Absolutely. You pour into your being, and then just your presence, like people can feel that energy.
Exactly. And if
appreciate
you have before you are, then you will probably lose it again. So
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful. And then last but not least, talking about actionable steps. So identify one area of growth tailored to your current challenges, leadership, communication, or legacy planning. And I would say, similar to what I said in the last episode, take one of those areas and really just burrow in there, focus in on that one.
let's take communication then as an example.
Yeah.
I struggle with communication. I would like to learn a few tips and tricks, maybe some tools. I would like to get immersed in a 5-day communicating, polishing, sharpening, frame breaking, belief crumbling experience.
Yeah.
Do they see goes up, or where do you go to have an experience like that?
Yes, well, moving into a little pitch. Obviously, that is something that can be accessed via our retreats, absolutely. And I would say, kind of in daily life, use your daily life as the practice. I had a conversation with one of my best friends last summer, and we were talking about communication and speaking and listening skills. And she was having a huge breakthrough of like, wow, nobody is really actually listening to each other, are they, in daily life? No, because we're all just focusing on the next thing we want to say. So I challenged her to practice one of the techniques we were talking through, which was mirroring and asking consecutive questions. Just practice it in daily life, like practice it with the bus driver, practice it in the supermarket, practice it with family, with friends, with your spouse. And she actually voice noted me later that day that she'd practiced in the taxi on the way to the train station or the bus station. And she was like, it was amazing. And this taxi driver really opened up and like said he had a bit of an insight and reflection. So the point there being, your daily life is the opportunity to experience and access all the personal growth you could look for. So where to start? Identify the biggest challenge you're experiencing at the moment. What's the thing that's kind of keeping you up at night? What's the thing that feels like it's in the way of what you want to create? There's your personal growth lesson at the moment. That's the module that you're currently enlisted in, in the Universal University. Ooh.
Drop the monologue, invite the dialogue.
Nice. He's the one-liner king. Yeah, let's say your issue is communication amongst your team. I would invite as many opportunities as possible to practice communication, ask for feedback. I think that's the biggest piece of advice I can give on the personal growth journey is ask for feedback and take that feedback on board. The better, I think that the way you can take feedback on is directly proportional to the success as a leader. If you cannot take feedback and implement and kind of not take it personal, you're going to struggle to develop and expand as a leader in any capacity.
True. Or false. It's true.
The whole episode.
Have Oscar and Kira been rumbling and humbling about stuff that makes no sense, or have we made some sense? Let us know in the comments below. And before we say goodbye, any lasting final words?
Final words.
Look at them. Now back at me. Now back at them.
God. Just look for the lessons. They're all around you.
Don't shy away from investing in yourself. There is no greater gift.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. You are your greatest asset. And the more you invest into yourself, the more your life is going to expand and flourish.
And with that said, stay blessed.
By the breath.
From us here at the Vita Veda to you home in the sofa.
Or the desk chair, or wherever you are.
Wherever you might be, on a walk, in the forest, in the dungeon. Nope. Have a wonderful day.
Ciao.